Welcome back. We're going to talk about Obamacare today. And guess what? President Obama didn't tell us the truth about Obamacare. Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid didn't tell us the truth. Now, Obamacare was sold to us as costing $900 billion, which is a huge amount of money. But now CBO says, oh no, it's not $900 billion, it's $1.9 trillion, twice as much. And lo and behold, once we start to do the real analysis and add in the cost of the added debt, it doubles again to 3.4 or 3.6 trillion, somewhere in there, nothing to worry about. That's just from the Congressional Budget Office so far. But our good friend Jeff Sessions had his staff go through and begin to look at the bill. Remember what Speaker of the House Pelosi said? To know what's in the bill, you'll have to pass the bill. Well, we just found $17 trillion in unfunded liability in the bill. Senator Sessions spent the better part of an hour in front of the Senate yesterday explaining how his staff had found a new $17 trillion funding gap. And in addition to this $17 trillion funding gap, he believes, his staff has informed him, that they think there are many other gaps, but they still haven't had time to fully go through the 2,700 pages of the bill. Now, this is unbelievable. 17 trillion, just to put that in perspective, our total federal debt currently is not up to $17 trillion. That is the sum of all operational deficits from the founding of the country in 1776 through 2012. We haven't hit 17 trillion, although President Obama is on pace to hit 17 trillion. And if reelected, oh dear God, no, if reelected, the president's current apogee, the current glide path, if you will take us to about $30 trillion in debt. Now, in less than 4 years, he's run up $5 trillion in debt, and that's just on what we know about. So let's spend some time with Senator Sessions here, our good friend from Alabama, and look at what his staff found. 17 trillion in extra promises were revealed by an analysis of the law's long-term requirements. Now, we have already a series of broken promises that are in the entitlements. And long-term listeners of our little show know that Social Security has unfunded liability of $100 trillion. Medicare's got $100 trillion. Total federal debt and unfunded liability is up around $220 trillion at this point. And if you're not aware of that, I want to urge you to go to Professor Kotlikoff's website and look at his figures. A very impressive calculation of the total amount of debt and unfunded obligation. What happens in Obamacare is, in the long term, we run our unfunded obligations from where they currently are up to at least 17 trillion more. If you look at Social Security for baby boomers, those born between 1946 and 1964, we are talking about unfunded liability of roughly $100 trillion just in Social Security. If you're paying attention to your benefit statement from Social Security, on page 1, it tells you that under current law, they will have to start dipping into the special obligation treasury bills sometime in the near future. Well, the near future turned out to be 2009, 2010, 2011. And they've gone from $20 billion to $40 billion to $80 billion in special obligation bonds. But what's especially stunning about Sessions' work is he's one of 100 senators, and he's one of 535 people in the U.S. Congress, House and Senate. Why is it that not one other person has come forward with a complete analysis of the total unfunded liability in this bill? Thank God for Senator Sessions and his staff working hard on this, but I would be willing to bet dollars to horse turds and hold the stakes in my mouth that 17 trillion is just the tip of the iceberg. Nobody really knows how much money Obamacare in its present form will cost. Now, hopefully the U.S. Supreme Court is going to overturn Obamacare because of the individual mandate. And we've spoke about this on the show before. But what I want to stress to you is this lie. And the president knew it was a lie. He delivered it. It isn't a misstatement of fact. It isn't a paraphrase or a statistical error. Everyone who's studied this, and he claims to be a policy wonk, he claims that he's looked at this. Everyone who's studied this knows there's no way to bend the cost curve down, the essence of what he claimed Obamacare would do. Obamacare will bankrupt the United States. If you like what you've seen in Greece and in Portugal and in Italy, in PIG, you know, PIG, Portugal, Italy, Greece, if you like that, if you like the people out in the street rioting and being bankrupt and going cup in hand to beg for your neighbors to bail you out, keep supporting Obamacare. That's where we're heading. Now, final thoughts on this. There is no way, no possible fiscal way to save Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid under the current operating system. You throw in Obamacare, we're Greece, period. We're Italy, period. We're Portugal. We are bankrupt if we do this. Now, you may not like that, and you may not like the fiscal reality of this, but I want to quote for you our old buddy Mitch Daniels, governor of Indiana. What did Mitch say? He says, we are very close to being mathematically incapable of paying our debt. We need to make massive cuts in spending. We need to reduce the federal budget by at least 50%. We need to do it immediately. If we don't, we're bankrupt. And I urge you to go look at those news stories of Greece, Italy, and Portugal. Read the Christian Science Monitor and the Wall Street Journal and read what is going on right now as they're being ordered, how they're going to restructure their debt. We are Greece, which we've seen all the stories about, the per capita debt in the United States is almost $10,000 per person higher than it is in Greece. Obamacare won't work, it can't work, and thank God it's unconstitutional. God bless you, God bless this fine U.S. Supreme Court, and God bless the United States.